The planet Clyra 9 was quiet, almost too quiet. Its lavender skies stretched endlessly, with twin suns casting soft gold light over rolling hills of crystal grass. The air smelled faintly metallic, a scent left by the minerals in the soil. It was beautiful but fragile. The Clyrians, the planet's native inhabitants, were delicate creatures, tall and thin, with translucent skin that shimmered in sunlight. They moved carefully, always aware of the planet's low gravity, which made them graceful, but also fragile. The humans arrived in their silver starship, its engines humming quietly as it landed on the crystalline ground. The ship's hatch opened, and Alex Carter, human engineer, stepped out. He squinted against the twin suns and let out a soft whistle. The planet was unlike anything he had ever seen. Alex had traveled to many worlds in his career, fixing broken machines and designing new tools. But Clyra 9 was special. The humans were here not just to build or repair, they were here to help. The colony had suffered from environmental damage caused by a recent solar storm. Many Clyrians were struggling to adapt. Alex's team had been sent to improve living conditions, repair broken infrastructure, and help the Clyrians thrive. As he walked toward the small Clyrian village, Alex noticed the children playing a curious game. It looked like ball, but it was not like any game he had seen on Earth. The children bounced lightly into the air, leaping with agility, catching a glowing orb that seemed almost alive. Their laughter was musical, high and soft. Alex smiled, remembering his own childhood games. Then he saw her. A young Clyrian girl sat on the edge of a crystal hill watching the others play. Her limbs did not move as smoothly as the other children's. She struggled to lift her arms and legs in the low gravity. Her name was Lyra. She watched silently, her eyes reflecting both longing and sadness. A local guide, a tall Clyrian named Vayan, noticed Alex staring. "She does not play," Vayan explained. "Her body, it is weak. She cannot jump or run like the others." Alex's curiosity piqued. "Can she try?" he asked gently. Vayan shook his head. "She would fail. It is not cruel. She knows her limits." But Alex did not walk away. There was something about Lyra. Her eyes were bright, curious, intelligent. He wanted to understand her world and help her. Later, Alex approached the village's main building, a large crystalline dome used for gatherings. Clyrians were cautious around humans, but the engineers had permission from the elders to observe and interact. Inside, Alex met Professor Mita, the head Clyrian scientist, who explained the situation. "The storm damaged many systems," she said in her soft voice, translated by Alex's device. "Our children are safe, but some, like Lyra, you're left out of activities. Their bodies cannot handle the strain of normal play." Alex nodded. He had seen this before, on Earth, on other planets. A body may be weak, but the mind and spirit could be strong. And sometimes, a little ingenuity could make a world of difference. That afternoon, Alex visited the playground again. Lyra was there, sitting quietly, watching the others. One of the older children noticed Alex and called her over. "Play with him," the child said. Lyra shook her head, her voice soft but firm. "Sorry, sir, I can't play ball." Alex crouched down, smiling, warmly. "That's okay. You don't have to play if you don't want to. But I'd like to watch you for a moment. Would that be all right?" Lyra hesitated but finally nodded. Alex observed quietly. He watched how Lyra tried to move her limbs, how she struggled to lift her feet, how her hands shook slightly when she reached for the ball. It was not weakness, it was a challenge. And challenges were meant to be solved. He noticed small things. Lyra's grip was strong, her eyes sharp, her reaction time fast. If her body could move freely, she could probably play better than most children. The problem was not her spirit, it was the lack of proper support. Alex made mental notes. He walked back to the village lab that evening, sketchbook in hand. He began drawing ideas, devices that could support Lyra's limbs, light exosuits that could enhance her strength without taking away her control. He imagined tiny motors, soft materials, adjustable braces, all powered by clean Clearian energy. His, mind raced. Humans had built machines for every challenge, from lifting heavy weights to exploring dangerous planets. Why not a machine to help a child move freely? He felt excitement, a rare kind of joy. This was not just engineering. This was changing a life. The next day, Alex approached Lyra again. This time, he carried a small, portable tool, a simple brace he had made from flexible materials. "I want to show you something," he said gently. Lyra looked skeptical but curious. "Will it hurt?" she asked. "Not at all," Alex promised. "I just want to help you move a little easier. You can try it, and if you don't like it, we stop. No one will be angry." She studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. Alex carefully fitted the brace around her arm and wrist. It was light, almost invisible. He adjusted it, making sure it fit snugly but comfortably. Then he asked her to lift her arm. Slowly, carefully, Lyra raised it. It moved more smoothly than before. Her eyes widened. I can lift it," she whispered. "Yes," Alex said, smiling. "You're doing it, see? You can control it." For the first time in years, Lyra felt hope. She lifted her other arm, then her legs with small adjustments. Each movement became easier, more fluid. She laughed softly, a sound that warmed Alex's heart. Nearby, other Clearian children stopped and watched. Some were curious, some were amazed, and a few whispered to each other. Lyra's parents appeared concerned but hopeful. Professor Mita observed silently, her expression thoughtful. "This is unusual," she murmured to Alex. "No human device has been tested on a Clearian child before." Alex shrugged modestly. "I'm just trying to help. If it works, maybe she can play like everyone else." Over the next few days, Alex refined the brace. He tested different materials, adjusted tension, and studied Lyra's movements carefully. She practiced slowly, with breaks, but she improved each day. Her confidence grew. She started to smile more often, sometimes glancing at the other children with longing, no longer sadness. One afternoon, as the twin suns began to set, Lyra finally stood on her feet, without holding on to anything. She balanced carefully, then took a small step forward. Then another. Alex clapped quietly. "You did it! That's amazing!" Lyra looked at him, wide-eyed. I can move," she said. "Yes, and one day you'll run, jump, and maybe even catch the ball," Alex replied. Trying not to get too excited, Lyra's laughter rang out across the crystal hills. The other children started to gather around, curious and supportive. Some cheered her small steps. Others waited patiently, as if understanding that this was her moment. That night, Alex returned to the ship, tired but happy. He knew this was only the beginning. The device was small, simple, and limited, but it was proof. With ingenuity, care, and respect, humans could help. Not dominate, not change culture, but empower. The morning sun rose over Cleara 9, spilling golden light across the crystalline hills. The village was quiet, except for the soft hum of the human starship in the distance. Inside the village lab, Alex Carter spread out his sketches and notes across a smooth, crystalline table. Lyra had returned yesterday with a smile he had never seen before, and he knew it was time to take the next step. He studied her movements carefully. Even with the simple brace, she struggled with balance when, trying to lift both arms at once, her legs were weak, making her steps wobbly. The human engineer tapped his chin thoughtfully. She can move a little, but she needs more support. Something light. Something that works with her body, not against it. Alex picked up a thin metal rod, bending it gently. Ideas formed in his mind. Soft exosuits, light braces, flexible joints powered by small energy cells. The Clearians had strong knowledge of energy and materials, but they had never designed wearable devices for their own children. Alex smiled at the challenge. Humans were good at combining technology with empathy. As he sketched, Lyra entered the Lab, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Good morning, sir," she said softly. "Good morning, Lyra." "Ready to try something new today?" Alex asked. She hesitated. "Will it be, hard?" Alex shook his head. "Not too hard. Just a little practice. I want you to see what your body can do." She nodded and followed him outside. The sunlight reflected off her translucent skin, making her seem almost like a living crystal herself. Other children were nearby, watching, but they kept their distance, unsure. Alex placed a small device on the ground. It looked like a tiny frame with soft straps and tiny motors at the joints. "This is a test," he explained. "It will help your arms and legs move a little easier. You control it. If you, want to stop, just tell me." Lyra looked nervous. She touched the device carefully. "It looks strange," she whispered. Alex smiled. "Yes, strange is good sometimes. It means it can do something special." He helped her strap into the device. The motors hummed softly as it powered on. At first, her movements were clumsy. She stumbled slightly, trying to balance. Alex held her hand gently. "Take your time," he said. Slowly, she lifted her arm. The device assisted her movement just enough to make it smooth. She giggled. I can move better." "Yes, that's exactly it," Alex said. "Now try your legs." She raised one leg, then the other. The device supported her joints and balance. She took a small step, then another. Her laughter rang across the village lab. The other children gathered closer, curious now instead of cautious. Alex made careful observations, taking notes. The device was promising, but it was still a prototype. The motors were too heavy for long periods, and the straps needed adjustment. He realized he would need to design a full exosuit, something that could cover her arms and legs, lightweight, flexible, and powered efficiently. Later, inside the lab, Alex worked tirelessly. He tested different materials, blending Clearian crystal, fibers with human alloys. He adjusted the motors, making them respond to small movements rather than forceful pushes. He wanted Lyra to feel natural movement, not mechanical assistance. Professor Mita entered, her expression thoughtful. "Alex," she said softly, "you are working very hard. But remember, the Clearians are cautious. We do not change children's bodies with machines lightly." Alex nodded. "I understand. I'm not changing her, Professor. I just want to help her move. That's all. She stays who she is. The device only helps her body do what her mind already wants." Mita studied the sketches. "You think this exosuit can allow her to play with others?" "Yes," Alex said firmly. "Not perfectly at first, but with practice she can experience what she has been missing. She deserves that." Mita nodded slowly, then proceed carefully. The next morning, Alex brought a new prototype outside. It was a small exosuit designed to assist both arms and legs. He helped Lyra step into it. It was lightweight, fitting snugly around her body. The tiny motors hummed softly as they calibrated. "Okay," Alex said. "Try moving." Lyra lifted her arms. They moved easily, naturally. She lifted one leg, then the other. She took a few steps, then ran a short distance. Her face lit up with surprise and joy. I can run," she exclaimed. "Yes, you can," Alex cheered. The other children gathered around. Some were amazed, some hesitant, but no one laughed. They watched quietly, intrigued. Lyra's parents appeared, concerned but hopeful. They studied the exosuit closely, unsure but impressed. Over the next several days, Alex refined the device. He worked with Lyra patiently, showing her how to use it safely. She practiced simple movements at first, walking, lifting her arms, balancing. Then she tried running, catching, and small jumps. Each success brought a new sparkle to her eyes. One afternoon, Lyra finally attempted a small leap. She jumped, assisted by the exosuit. For a moment, she was in the air, suspended lightly as if flying. She landed safely, laughing in delight. The other children cheered. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. This is why humans explore, why we help, not for power, not for glory, but to give hope. However, challenges soon arose. Some Clerian elders approached, observing the tests from a distance. Their expressions were cautious. They whispered among themselves, concerned that the device could disrupt natural growth or culture. Alex knew he had to be careful. "We must respect their ways," he told Lyra. "We are helping, not taking over. You are still you." Lyra nodded, understanding. She wanted to play, but she also wanted to respect her people. Alex admired her maturity. One evening, he and Professor Mita discussed the next steps. "We need to test her in a real game," she said. Alex hesitated. "Are you sure?" The other children, "It might be overwhelming." Mita nodded. "It is. Time. She has shown her ability. We must let her try with others." Alex smiled. "Then tomorrow we take the next step." That night, Lyra could not sleep. She lay on her bed, feeling the soft hum of the exosuit resting nearby. She thought about the children playing ball, about the laughter, about the joy she had glimpsed. Tomorrow she would try to join them. Her heart raced with excitement and fear. Alex stood outside the lab looking at the twin suns setting over the crystalline hills. He thought about the challenge ahead. The device was ready, but now it was time to test not just technology, but trust, courage, and spirit. Humans were known for ingenuity, for using science to solve problems, but Alex realized that here on Clyra 9 it was not only about machines. It was about human empathy, about understanding, about inspiring someone to believe in themselves. He smiled, feeling a quiet pride. Lyra would soon discover what he already knew, that limitations could be overcome with patience, care, and a little clever thinking. The morning light on Clyra 9 was soft and golden, casting long shadows across the crystalline hills. The village was stirring with excitement. Today was special. Today Lyra would try something she had never done before: join the other children in a real game. Alex Carter arrived early carrying the refined exosuit. It was lighter than before, more flexible with tiny motors calibrated to respond smoothly to Lyra's movements. He had spent hours the previous night testing, adjusting, and tweaking the device. Each improvement brought a new level of confidence to him. Lyra waited near the playground, her translucent skin glowing in the morning light. Her eyes were wide, mixing excitement and nervousness. The other children played nearby, glancing at her occasionally. Some were curious, others hesitant. Alex approached her with a warm smile. "Ready?" he asked. Lyra nodded slowly. I think so." Alex helped her into the exosuit, adjusting the straps carefully. "Remember, it's okay to stop if you want. You control it, not the device." She took a deep breath and lifted her arms. The exosuit responded perfectly, assisting her with smooth, natural movements. Her legs followed. She took a small step forward, then another. The children stopped playing and watched. "Look at her," one child whispered. "She's moving like us." Lyra's heart pounded. She had dreamed of this moment, but reality was different. The other children were fast, agile, and competitive. She worried she might fall behind or make mistakes. Alex crouched beside her. "Take your time," he said gently. "No one expects perfection. Just enjoy moving." She nodded and focused on the ball game. The glowing orb bounced across the crystalline field. One of the children kicked it toward her. Lyra stiffened, unsure if she could catch it. But the exosuit responded smoothly to her movements. She lifted her arms and caught the ball. A cheer erupted. She blinked in surprise. "I did it. I really did it," she thought. "Great job," Alex called out. "See? You can play." The other children were amazed. Slowly, they began to include her in the game. At first, she moved cautiously, taking small steps, lifting the ball carefully, but with each success, her confidence grew. She laughed, shouted, and ran lightly across the field, assisted by the exosuit. The elders, who had been observing from a distance, approached quietly. Some whispered among themselves, unsure if this was appropriate. Others were intrigued. Lyra's parents stood at the edge of the field, anxious but proud. One elder, a tall Clerian with shimmering skin, spoke softly to Professor Mida. "This is unusual. The child moves with machines. It is unnatural." Mida nodded. "Yes, but she is happy. And she is safe. Observe first. Judge later." Meanwhile, Lyra had grown bolder. She attempted a small jump, landing gracefully on her feet. She caught the ball mid-air, spinning it between her hands. The other children cheered, impressed by her newfound skill. One boy who had teased her before ran over. "Hey, you're really good," he said, smiling. Lyra blushed but smiled back. Alex watched quietly, feeling a sense of pride. This was what humans did best, not dominate or take over, but solve problems, inspire confidence, and empower others. The UI game continued. Lyra moved with increasing ease, coordinating with the other children. She laughed freely, forgetting her fears. She ran, jumped, and caught the ball repeatedly. For the first time in her life, she felt like one of them. During a short break, Lyra sat on the crystal grass, breathing heavily but smiling. Alex knelt beside her. "You're doing amazing," he said. "How does it feel?" It feels like flying," Lyra whispered. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "I never thought I could move like this. Thank you, Alex." Alex smiled warmly. "No, thank you. You trusted me. That's what made this possible." But not everyone was convinced. Later that afternoon, a group of elders gathered near the playground. Their expressions were serious. "One device cannot replace natural ability," one elder said. "We must consider the tradition of our children's games. They are not just for fun. They teach patience, balance, and endurance. This device, it changes that," Mida spoke calmly. "The device does not replace her. It assists her. She learns, she practices, she grows. The goal is inclusion, not competition." Another elder nodded slowly. "Perhaps, but we must watch, carefully. Tradition is delicate." Alex understood. Cultural respect was as important as technological skill. He approached the elders and bowed slightly. "I promise, this device is only for help. It will not harm or replace Clerian ways. It is simply a bridge." The elders studied him carefully. After a long pause, they nodded. "Very well," one said, "but observe closely. We will judge by her behavior and the community's harmony." That evening, the children gathered around Lyra, eager to talk about the game. She shared her excitement, her small victories, and her plans for future plays. Some children expressed curiosity about the exosuit, but Alex explained simply, it was a tool, not magic. Lyra's courage and persistence were what truly mattered. The next few days, Lyra practiced regularly. She learned to coordinate her movements with others, anticipate the ball's path, and communicate during play. Her balance improved, her steps became more confident, and her laughter grew louder. Alex introduced small improvements to the exosuit. He adjusted the joints for smoother motion, added soft padding for comfort, and fine-tuned the motors to respond faster. Each adjustment made a noticeable difference in her mobility. One afternoon, Lyra attempted a more complex move, jumping over a small obstacle while catching the ball. The first try failed, and she stumbled slightly. She felt frustration rise, but Alex knelt beside her. "Remember, Lyra," he said gently. "Every step, even a stumble, teaches you something. Try again. You are stronger than you think." She nodded, took a deep breath, and tried again. This time she leapt gracefully, catching the ball mid-air and landing on her feet. The other children cheered loudly. Lyra's parents watched with tears in their eyes. Alex felt a surge of pride. This is what humans bring to the galaxy, he thought. Ingenuity, patience, care, and hope. By the end of the week, Lyra had transformed. She could move freely, participate in complex plays, and even coordinate strategies with the other children. The exosuit was no longer just a tool. It was a part of her daily life, helping her explore her abilities and enjoy activities she had never dreamed possible. The Clerian elders continued to observe. Some remained cautious, but most began to see the benefits. Children who were once hesitant now approached Lyra, curious and respectful. They asked questions about the device, the movements, and the games. Lyra shared what she learned, inspiring others to try small exercises even without devices. Alex watched quietly, feeling a sense of fulfillment. The project was more than technology. It was a bridge between species, a lesson in empathy, and a celebration of potential. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Lyra sat with Alex on a crystal hill. The village was quiet, other children resting after a day of play. "Alex," she said softly, "I never thought I could do this. I never thought I could play with them. But now, I can." Alex smiled warmly. "Yes, you can. And remember, it's not just the exosuit, it's you. You believed, you tried, and you didn't give up. That's what made the difference." Lyra looked out at the village, the playground, and the setting suns. She felt a warmth in her heart, a sense of belonging she had never known before. "Do you think I could really play in the big game?" she asked, eyes shining. Alex nodded. "I do. And when that day comes, you'll inspire everyone around you, not because of a device, but because of your courage." She smiled, a mix of pride and excitement. For the first time, she imagined herself running, jumping, and catching the ball with her friends, laughing freely under the twin suns of Clera 9. Alex watched her quietly, knowing that the real challenge had just begun. Technology had given Lyra the ability to move, but the bigger challenge was helping the village accept it, embrace it, and learn from it. The journey was far from over, but hope had taken root. The day of the planetary festival had finally arrived. The twin suns of Clera 9 shone brightly, casting warm light across the crystal fields. The village buzzed with excitement. Today was more than a festival. It was the grand ball tournament, the biggest event of the year. Clerian children from all corners of the planet had gathered to participate. Lyra stood near the edge of the playground, her exosuit fitted snugly and humming softly. Her heart pounded in her chest. Today she would join the other children, not just for practice, but in a real competitive game. She looked around at the others who were stretching, laughing, and preparing. She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Alex crouched beside her. "Are you ready?" he asked, smiling warmly. I think so," Lyra whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "You've practiced, you've learned, and you've grown stronger," Alex said. "Now it's time to enjoy yourself. Just play, have fun, and trust yourself." Lyra took a deep breath. The exosuit adjusted automatically to her movements, soft motors humming in response. She felt the familiar sense of freedom it gave her. But now it was different. This time there were more eyes watching, and the stakes were higher. The game began. The glowing orb bounced across the crystal field, and the children chased it with laughter and determination. Lyra ran, catching the ball smoothly, passing it to teammates. Her movements were coordinated and fluid. The exosuit responded perfectly, enhancing her natural abilities without overpowering her. At first, the other children were cautious, unsure how to play with her. Some whispered among themselves, curious about her exosuit. But as the game progressed, they realized that Lyra was no longer just a player with a device. She was one of them. She communicated, strategized, and participated fully. Lyra's confidence grew. She attempted a small jump, catching the ball mid-air and landing safely. A cheer erupted from the sidelines. Even the elders, who had been observing with concern, nodded in approval. But challenges soon appeared. One of the opposing teams, faster and more aggressive, targeted Lyra. They didn't mean harm, but their speed tested her abilities. For a moment, Lyra faltered, unsure if she could keep up. Alex watched from the sidelines, tension rising in his chest. "Remember, Lyra," he called out, "trust yourself. You are ready for this. Lyra took a deep breath and focused. She moved strategically, anticipating the ball's path, using her training and the exosuit's assistance. She dodged, ran, and leaped with precision. Slowly, she regained control, catching the ball and passing it to a teammate. The game continued, intense and fast-paced. The crowd of children and villagers cheered, captivated by Lyra's determination and skill. Even the skeptical elders began to smile. They could see that the device was not giving her unfair advantage. It was allowing her to participate fully, to experience joy and camaraderie like the others. Midway through the game, the orb bounced toward Lyra at a difficult angle. Without hesitation, she leaped, twisting her body in midair. The exosuit responded perfectly, assisting her landing. She caught the ball and spun, passing it to another teammate. The crowd erupted in applause. One boy, who had once teased her, ran over grinning. "You're amazing," he shouted. Lyra smiled, feeling proud and accepted. But the game was not over. The opposing team intensified their efforts. Lyra was pushed to her limits, physically and mentally. She stumbled slightly, unsure if she could keep up. Her breath came in quick bursts, and her heart raced. Alex's voice rang in her mind. "Trust yourself. You are ready for this." She remembered all the practice, all the small victories, all the moments when she had struggled and succeeded. She took a deep breath, steadied herself, and continued. Her movements became more confident, more fluid. She anticipated the ball, coordinated with her teammates, and executed plays with precision. The final moments of the game approached. The score was tied, and the glowing orb bounced high into the air. Lyra ran, her exosuit assisting, her body responding perfectly. She leaped, catching the orb mid-air, spinning gracefully, and passed it to the final teammate. The team scored the winning point. The crowd erupted in cheers, laughter, and applause. Lyra landed, panting but smiling, her heart filled with joy. She had done it. She had played, competed, and succeeded. For the first time, she felt truly included, fully part of the community. The elders approached, nodding and smiling. "You have shown courage and skill," one said softly. "This device, it has allowed her to participate, not dominate. We see the value now." Lyra's parents rushed forward, tears in their eyes. They hugged her tightly, proud and grateful. Lyra laughed, feeling warmth and love surrounding her. Alex approached, smiling. "See? I told you. You are capable of more than you ever imagined." Lyra nodded, her eyes shining. "Thank you, Alex. I can play. I really can." The festival continued, and Lyra's victory became the talk of the village. Children gathered around, asking questions, laughing, and wanting to try small exercises themselves. Lyra shared what she had learned, teaching them patience, strategy, and coordination. Alex watched quietly, feeling a deep sense of pride. This was the essence of HFY, human ingenuity, care, and empathy, empowering others without taking away their culture or identity. Lyra had gained mobility and confidence, but she had also inspired a community to see inclusion and possibility differently. As the twin suns began to set, casting a golden glow over the crystal fields, Lyra sat quietly, reflecting on the day. She felt proud, happy, and alive. She had faced her fears, trusted herself, and discovered the joy of movement and play. Alex sat beside her, looking at the horizon. "You did something incredible today," he said softly. "Not just with your body, but with your courage and spirit." Lyra smiled, leaning against him. "I never thought I could do it, but now, I know anything is possible if I try." Alex nodded. "That's right. And remember, it's not just about the device, it's about you, your determination, and your willingness to believe in yourself. That's the real power." The festival continued into the evening, filled with laughter, music, and celebration. Lyra's friends gathered around, including those who had once doubted her. They laughed, played, and shared stories, forming bonds that would last a lifetime. The elders, once cautious, now watched with approval. They saw that tradition and innovation could coexist. The exosuit had not replaced Lyra's abilities. It had empowered her to participate fully, to grow stronger and to inspire others. As night fell and the twin moons rose over Clyra 9, Lyra looked at the stars and felt a sense of wonder. She had discovered something powerful: the courage to try, the joy of inclusion, and the strength to overcome challenges. Alex watched her quietly, feeling a deep satisfaction. This was the true meaning of their mission, not just to build machines or fix systems, but to change lives, to empower and to inspire hope. The sun rose softly over Clyra 9, painting the crystal hills in shades of gold and violet. The village was quiet, but the air buzzed with a new sense of energy. Children ran and played freely, and even those who had been hesitant before tried. Small exercises inspired by Lyra's achievements. Lyra stood near the playground, her exosuit gleaming softly in the morning light. She watched her friends move, laugh, and play together. She felt a warm glow in her heart. For the first time in her life, she felt truly part of the community. Alex Carter approached her, carrying a small tablet filled with notes and sketches. "Good morning, Lyra," he said with a smile. "Are you ready for another day of training?" She smiled brightly. "Yes, sir. I want to help others too." Alex nodded. That was exactly what he had hoped for. The device was not just about her. It was about spreading empowerment, about giving others the tools and confidence to try, learn, and grow. Over the next few weeks, Lyra became a mentor for other children who struggled with movement. Alex helped her modify smaller, simpler devices for those who needed assistance. They were light, easy to wear, and powered gently by Clyrian energy sources. Slowly, other children began practicing, gaining confidence in ways they never thought possible. The elders watched carefully. At first, some were skeptical. Tradition, after all, had always emphasized natural growth and endurance. But as they observed the children practicing safely, laughing, and learning cooperation and patience, their doubts faded. One evening, an elder approached Alex. "You have done something remarkable," he said, his voice soft and serious. "You have not only helped Lyra, but you have inspired the entire village. The balance between tradition and innovation. It is delicate, but you have honored it." Alex bowed respectfully. "Thank you. That was always my goal. The children, the community, they decide how to grow. We only provide tools and guidance." Lyra ran past, laughing with her friends, her exosuit helping her move with grace and agility. She waved to Alex. "Come on, let's play." He shook his head with a chuckle. "Not yet. I think it's your turn to shine." The villagers began organizing small games and exercises using the new devices. Parents watched proudly, seeing their children move in ways they never imagined. Lyra guided them patiently, showing how to balance, coordinate, and have fun safely. One day, during a practice session, Lyra paused and looked at Alex. "Sir, do you think other planets could use this too?" she asked, her eyes shining. Alex smiled thoughtfully. "Yes, Lyra. This technology could help children across many worlds as long as it is used carefully and respectfully. But it's not the device alone. It's the courage, the practice, and the belief in yourself that really matters." She nodded, understanding. "I want to help them too." As weeks turned into months, the village transformed. The exosuits became a normal part of daily life for those who needed them. Children who had once been excluded now ran, jumped, and played, laughing freely under the twin suns of Clyra 9. The community became more inclusive, more connected, and more supportive. Even the elders, once cautious, now embraced the innovation. They saw that the devices did not replace natural ability but enhanced opportunity. Tradition and technology could coexist, each respecting and supporting the other. Alex spent his days assisting, observing, and refining the devices. He worked with Lyra, her friends, and the engineers, documenting the designs for wider use. Every adjustment was made with care, ensuring safety, comfort, and respect for Clyrian culture. One evening, Alex and Lyra climbed a small hill outside the village, watching the twin suns set in brilliant gold and purple hues. The wind carried the laughter of children playing in the distance. "You've changed everything here," Alex said softly. "Look at them. They're all learning, playing, and growing." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. I never thought I could do this, but now I can help others too, and it feels amazing." Alex nodded. "Yes, it does, and remember, it's not just the devices. It's your courage, your determination, and your willingness to try that inspired everyone. You showed them what is possible." Lyra looked thoughtful. "Do you think humans can do this on other planets too?" "Absolutely," Alex said. "Humans are explorers, problem solvers, and helpers. Wherever we go, we can inspire, assist, and share knowledge. But the key is always respect. Respect for life, culture, and individuality. That's what makes it truly human for the better, HFY." Lyra laughed softly. "I like that. HFY." Alex chuckled. "Yes, HFY. And you, Lyra, are part of that story, now." Over time, Alex documented the exosuit designs and shared them with other human missions and Clerian engineers. The technology spread responsibly, always with care and attention to culture and safety. Children on other colonies and planets began to benefit, inspired by the courage of one young Clerian girl and the ingenuity of a human engineer. Lyra became a symbol of hope. Her story was told to younger children, not just as a tale of technology, but as a story of courage, perseverance, and inclusion. She had faced fear, practiced tirelessly, and discovered joy and friendship in ways she had never imagined. One evening, as the village celebrated another successful festival, Lyra stood at the center of the playground. Children gathered around, some laughing, some sharing stories, some showing off their skills. Parents and elders watched proudly. Alex stood nearby, observing quietly. He felt a sense of fulfillment deeper than any achievement he had known. Humanity had arrived as a helper, an innovator, a friend, and the results were life-changing. Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes sparkling. "Thank you, sir," she said simply. "For everything." Alex smiled. "No, Lyra, thank you. You believed in yourself, and that belief changed your world, and maybe many others. That's the real power." The twin moons rose over Clera 9, casting silver light across the crystal hills. Lyra looked up, imagining the children on other worlds who might one day move freely, laugh and play because of what she had started. She felt hope, pride, and determination. The future was wide and full of possibilities. And she knew that with courage, ingenuity, and a little help from friends, human or Clerian, nothing was impossible. Alex watched her quietly, feeling the quiet triumph of a mission fulfilled. The humans had come to a distant world to help, and they had succeeded, not through force, not through domination, but through creativity, empathy, and respect.